Oh, oh, oh.
I'm in a million's chair.
Yeah. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Panic. You know, no Panic in the building. Yo, I got a special guest here with me this morning. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Shop FM, getting it in the AM. It's your boy Panic. A Million Styles decided to stay home today because he's a lazy son of a bitch. But I do have a special co-host with me this morning. I don't know how I kind of sprung this co-host thing on him as soon as he walked in because he thought he was just going to be a guest.
It's all good.
It's all good. I got the homie, the friend, the man who does it all, Dan Bruckner. How are you doing this morning, Dan?
Fantastic.
Doing good. That's great, man. So the main reason I wanted to bring Dan in is because the Shop FM has been involved in I know you guys know, and you're probably tired of us talking about it, but we just are not going to stop, okay? We've been involved in a couple things that Dan's group, the HorrorCon Phoenix program, does every single year. It's about independent live music. One of them is the Summer Concert Series that starts June 1st, like between June and August 30th of every single year. And the Jersey Street Music Festival, that's always the third weekend in June. And yours truly, and Emil, and Dee and Lemmy and Lady Elsay all have the privilege to be down there and broadcast to you guys live on our video stream and on our app all the performances. So
we're privileged to have you guys there.
Oh, see, you just doing that because you here. No, but honestly, so why don't we kind of talk about what
my flaming red shirt?
Yeah, your flaming red shirt. Jersey Street Music Festival. Good morning, Nikki. Good morning, Hector. What's going on, Heather? Emil, shut up. All right, Emil says get up to the mic closer.
How's that, Emil?
Is that good, Emil? See, you know what would happen? He wouldn't do it if you come here. No, so all right, so the Jersey Street Music Festival, it's every third week in July, June.
Until next year.
Until next year. What do you mean until next year?
We're probably going to be moving it to the first weekend in June next year.
Oh, why is that?
Well, there's always some sort of conflict with other events happening in the area. There's always the Taste of Wisconsin and Beaver Dam on the same weekend.
Screw Beaver Dam.
Yeah. There's Father's Day, which happens a lot of times on the third weekend. But most importantly...
But no one cares about fathers, though.
Nobody cares about us.
No one cares about us, man. They don't care. They don't give a shit about fathers.
The big reason, though, is the deal that we're working out with the carnival is that they come up from Florida.
Okay.
And if we move our festival to the first weekend in June, we'll get their entire package of equipment next year.
Oh, nice.
As opposed to the few pieces that we have this year.
Because they're busy the third weekend. Pretty much all their stuff is busy.
Yeah. So our weekend will be the start of their season in Wisconsin, and we'll get the whole show. So.
Okay. So you were just talking about carnival rides. That's new to the Jersey Street Music Festival this year, right?
It is.
Right. Has it been there any years before? Because I just started last year, so this will be my second year coming to Jersey Street. But I used to go to
Marsh Days.
Yeah, Rock and River Jam. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the first year that we've had it as a festival. When we started the festival, we kind of purposefully didn't have the carnival rides. But we found over the past couple of years, we really need to attract as many people as we can,
right,
to keep the festival viable. So it seemed like a reasonable thing to do. And I guess I can call her my stepdaughter, Isa. She told me a few months ago, I'm not going to your stupid festival. There's nothing for me to do there.
How old is she?
She'll be a sophomore this next year.
Oh, geez, she's a punk.
But she's right. So that's one of the big reasons we wanted to bring the festival back, to give teenagers something to do.
Okay. You could just bring back underage drinking. That would work. That would work. Just be like, we don't card.
They can't afford my beer.
So how did the Jersey Street Music Festival kind of get started? I know we talked about, you were on last year around this time, but we have some new fans now. So we have kind of a bigger audience, I guess. So they kind of want to know how did this even get started, and what's this group about? Because when I heard about you guys, the Horicon Phoenix program, I thought you were part of the government. You know what I'm saying? Like you were part of the city council. Like you were put together by the city council.
No,
but
they hate us.
yeah, exactly. So explain to the people why the city council and the government actually hate you.
Well, I can't say that they hate us.
Well, but how you're not really part of them. Like how independent you are. I guess I should say.
Yeah, we don't get any financial support from the city. I'll say that the Parks Department is really, really good at doing everything that they can to get the parks cleaned up, and all these storms that we've had this past week, trees getting blown down.
Yeah.
They've been
Jesus.
working double time on making the park look good. But the festival itself, I guess, formed in my head a couple of years before we started it here. There was a period of time, 7 years ago, something like that, kind of on the spur of the moment, I got sick of Horicon. So I picked Ben up and I moved him to Shorewood.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're down in Shorewood, and we stop in at the River West Public House, and I see Mutts playing, and I'd never seen anything like Mutts in my life. And
Right.
I picked up one of their free CDs and, driving around Milwaukee, listening to this really fantastic music. And there was one song in particular, Terranaut. And at that moment in my life, that song just spoke to me like nothing else in this world. And I thought, if there's any way that I can ever work with these guys,
Right.
I want to do that, because I can't be the only one that this music is going to touch like this.
Oh yeah.
So we were down in Shorewood for 6 months, and then I found a cheap place back in Horicon, so I moved back. But then, Marsh Days was around for a couple of years, and they disbanded. So Horicon didn't have a festival for, 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah. I know it was a long time.
It was. Every small town needs a festival. Every town needs a festival.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we didn't want to be what the past had been. We wanted to, do something a little bit different. And everybody in the organization loves original music, independent music. So we thought, okay, let's try something different for our area, and let's have an actual music festival. So that's kind of the short story.
So how did the first year go?
You got to think back. It was hot. It was.
June in Wisconsin, huh?
We had the outside stage. It was good. The bands were great. Everything for our first time, and never having put anything together like that.
Right.
Unless I've completely blocked everything out of my mind, I think it went really well.
Right. So every single year, you make money for the next year festival, right? That's kind of like the go-to. Like, you guys are a nonprofit, right? You don't get paid for your job.
Not a penny.
Not a penny, right? And neither do the other board members who are on this council or this board.
No, and
this
these guys
wonderful
are putting
group of people, right?
70 hours this week.
Right. So they're working for free. Sometimes they're spending their own money, and they're trying to. All they're trying to do is bring music and fun and culture to a city that they care about. And I think that you bastards who are watching should come down. What time does it start tonight?
The first band goes on at 6:30. The carnival ride should be starting up about 4.
Okay.
Taste of Horicon at 4.
Oh, the Taste of Horicon.
Yeah.
Ooh, go into that.
Marsh,
Oh, yeah.
Marsh Burgers.
Oh, guys, listen. Tell them about the Taste of Horicon. The Taste of Horicon is the shit. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, it's like any other taste of any other town, I guess. It's being coordinated by the Horicon Rotary Club, and they've reached out to the different service organizations, restaurants in the area, and whoever is interested brings down whatever it is that they make.
Do you ever get, all right, hold on. This is kind of you might not be able to answer this question, but when businesses come to you after, like, maybe you've gone to them for some kind of like sponsorship money, some funding a little bit, I just need $100 to get this thing. And they're like, I'm sorry, man, I can't help you. And then the next year or the year after that, somewhere down the road, they come back to you and they go, hey, I want to have my restaurant, or, I want to be a part of the festival. Do you ever kind of be like, man, you thought I was nothing before, but now look at that,
Fortunately, I've got a really bad memory.
Oh, you business owners are lucky then. So it's never happened. At least he's not going to say it on here.
No, we don't do that.
No. All right, I'm sorry. Yeah. But yeah, I know last year there was a cheesecake place, a bakery from Iron Ridge.
She'll be there.
Yeah.
Cindy's Cheesecake.
Yeah, Cindy's Cheesecakes. Yeah, she came there and it was so good. The cheesecake I had was so amazing. I'm looking forward to that. So what's like the main thing you're looking forward to this year from the festival?
I think what we're doing tonight with the Wisconsin Independent Music Showcase, Alyssa and I have kind of handpicked 4 bands from 4 different regions of the state.
And this is like kind of like your guys' baby. Like you guys kind of.
It is. It's the thing within our festival, I think, that can have the potential to really explode and be something that the whole state looks forward to. So it's 4 bands that are, I guess you could say, emerging artists. They've just started their careers, but they're bands who are really good and are really motivated, and we're giving them a platform to perform with other artists that they normally wouldn't play with.
Right.
And it's a really, really cool thing.
Yeah, I know that one of the bands, you guys might remember them from our live sessions we did.
Skyline Sounds.
Skyline Sounds. They were amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing them today. So how does this? So it's called the Wisconsin Independent Music Showcase, right? The Wimp, right?
Yep.
How do bands, like, if there's artists out there that are like, how do I get on this guy's radar? Because you're the executive director, you're the boss of volunteers, the volunteer boss, right? Like you have like kind of like the last word, but it's more like a democratic process, I should say. Yeah. So how would a band or a musician out there try to get on your guys' radar to maybe play the festival next year? Because I know that's a lot. As an artist myself, it was always my thing. Well, how do I even get noticed by these festival groups or these people who book, these booking people for festivals or for gigs to even get it? Like, so what do you look for in a musician or a band?
Well, one way this happens is bands will tell us about other bands. Like Skyline Sounds will mention somebody, or Rough Isaac will mention somebody, or the other bands that we work with. I think.
So you have to not be a dick.
You got to not be a dick. And we've got a lot of people who email us, their band's Facebook page or something. But truthfully, I like to have links to SoundCloud and that sort of thing.
You want to hear their music.
I want to hear their music. I want to see their performances. I want to learn about as much about them as I can.
So okay. If they have the live music, because I know a lot of I've seen a lot of live performances that were not as good as like a live recording, and I've heard of some live recordings that when they transfer it to a live stage, it's just like, you said horrible. So like, how would you decipher, like, if they didn't have a live performance, but they had a live recording they had a recording that was amazing. It was produced very well. They sounded very well on it. Like, how would you just wouldn't book them then? Or
typically how it works with us is one way or another, a band will be brought to our attention, whether it's through another band or whether it's somebody's emailed us about. So we'll do our initial research first, and then we'll go and see them. We'll find where they're playing and when they're playing, and we'll go check them out for ourselves.
Okay. So when you got into this, did you think it was going to be this hard?
I had no idea.
Yeah. What did you just kind of wanted to, you're like, I just want to hear some live music.
Yeah. And it's, that part of it is really the easy part of it.
Yeah.
It's all the million details that have to be done before you can have something like this. You got to have, to have a festival in the park, you have to have permission from the city, and not just the city, but different organizations within the city. You have to get all kinds of permits from the police. You have to get permissions from different departments within the city, like the Parks Department. And you have to, it
sounds like a nightmare.
It's an incredible process.
So how would a Summerfest even start? Like, how big it got, and like, it has its own fairgrounds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when I think about Jersey Street Music Festival, I think about it having its own, like, this is for Jersey Street. Nobody goes see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so how would someone even get to that level? Like, just kind of.
That's a really good question, and I don't know if this is going to answer it or not. But I was talking with someone about this just a couple of days ago, if I could go back
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, I would not name it the Jersey Street Music Festival. When we started it, it was intended to be like a Brady Street Festival.
Oh,
a
just on the
Locust
street. Yeah, yeah.
Festival. And that's what we wanted, and that's what we got, and it was successful. But now, as we've added these other things like the Wisconsin Independent Music Showcase, I kind of wish it had a more generic name.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
What would you name it? Well, if you could name it, if you could do it right now, what would you name it?
Panic's Music.
Don't do that. Don't you
Panic Fest.
don't. Flattery will get you everywhere, sir.
I kind of like that one.
Yeah,
Panic
yeah.
Fest.
So, all right. So it's you. Everybody know you just talked about Alyssa helping you out with the.
Liz Darner, Tori Harmuth, Bob Retman. I mean, there's over 45 volunteers.
Oh wow.
I can't say enough about these people who help out, and whether it's 2 hours or 50 hours, there's 45 people.
Right. So just because so you're here today, we're talking about the Jersey Street Music Festival Summer Concert Series, but the Horicon Phoenix program does a hell of a lot more than just music festivals.
Yeah.
Can you talk about some of the things that you do around the city to help the city? Because it's not just, I want to bring music and that's it. Like, no. There's some shit they do. They do some shit.
The very first thing we did was to build the community gardens in Horicon, and that came along with a rain shed, which captures 1,000 gallons of rainwater for the community gardeners to use.
That's crazy.
So we were able to talk the city into letting us use a small piece of parkland over at Kiwanis Park. From there, we've done things like we built the Riverbend Park disc golf course. We're always trying to work on the bike trail projects in Horicon. We've given small business grants to businesses around the area. We have scholarships for high school students going on to either tech school, which I think is really important, or conventional college, and adults as well. We own one of the properties downtown Horicon. So we bought it and we invested a ton of money in renovating it so the business that was in there wouldn't leave.
Wait, you own it?
We do.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you like charge them rent or no? You just kind of like,
We do.
yeah, it's just stay this good. What business is it? Oh, can you talk about it? Is that okay?
The Vonti building, Vonti Salon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a nice building.
Yeah,
I like that building. Did you guys renovated it and everything?
we did.
Oh, that's really cool.
So we bought it and we worked with Yvonne. She was able to design it however exactly how she wanted it to be for her salon. And we took out the money and we did that.
What was the reasoning behind that, if I could ask? Like, like to pick that one building, to pick that business, that lady. You have to
Downtown
go into
was
detail,
going to
but
shit.
yeah.
It just looks awful. And
Yeah, don't come downtown Horicon, guys, for the looks.
no, Yvonne, I think at that point was contemplating moving her salon somewhere else because at that time she was outgrowing her facility and there wasn't any way for her to expand. And there was her shop and 2 apartments in the building. So we bought the building and we expanded her shop into one of the apartments. So we doubled her footprint so she would stay. She was like an anchor to downtown. She was a business owner who really cared about how her business looked, keeping it look nice. She was a proponent of everything that we were doing. We didn't want to lose a person like that from downtown again. So
Right. So is that your goal with the whole downtown thing, is to make it look like make it pop from people drive through to like, oh, maybe I can put a business here?
I'm not sure. I know the city has a ton of stuff that they're working on with Jim Schaefer, their director of economic development. It's not looking like there's much happening, but I know that there's a whole lot of things that are kind of cooking underneath.
Yeah, it looks dead down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I wanted to open up a business downtown, right? Say I wanted to open up a McDonald's or something, or even a Starbucks coffee, right? Say I want to open up a Starbucks down there. How likely do you think it would be for me to open up a Starbucks in Horicon? Because I've had my thoughts about it. Like, I don't think they're gonna let me do it.
I think there's something coming.
Oh shit! Did you guys hear that? Just wait. Soon, Horicon, you're gonna get a Starbucks. No.
I didn't say Starbucks.
What's coming? I want to know. Oh, this is an exclusive. Please tell me. Oh, geez, I want to know so bad.
Can't say any more than that.
All right. Anyways, there's something coming. So- all right. So tonight, guys, let me reiterate. Tonight at 4 p.m., please come out to Disher Park in Horicon, Wisconsin for the kickoff of the Jersey Street Music Festival with rides, and there's a Taste of Horicon, correct? And then 6:30 tonight starts the Wisconsin Independent Music Performances, or the showcase, featuring, who's it? Skyline Sounds,
Rough Isaac,
Feed
Feed the Dog,
the Dog,
and Mad Polecats.
Mad Polecats are dope. I like those guys. That's a huge band. Those guys are everywhere. Jeez. So anyway, how's life been going for you?
It's good.
Has it been good?
Every day I wake up is a good day.
Did you see the what are your thoughts on? All right, so we're getting into the show now. We'll come back to the Jersey Street Music Festival. Now we're getting into the show. I told you you can be my co-host, right?
Yep, sure.
All right. So yesterday there was a shooting in Washington, not in Washington, but outside of Washington, Virginia. You heard about it, right?
I heard a little bit about it.
Yeah. So what do you think? Okay, so the guy who shot him up was a white male, and he was older, and he said it was politically driven.
Yep.
What do you think? Do you think the way that we're talking to each other, like the political discourse that's going on in this country right now, kind of will add to that? Do you think there's going to be more of that type of stuff going on, or?
I really hope not.
Yeah.
This guy is supposedly a Bernie supporter, and I don't think anybody would be surprised to know that Bernie got my vote.
Right.
I'm not going around shooting anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know how it comes to this. I know that people are still angry on both sides, but you just, as a species, you just can't go around
shooting each other, right?
Shooting each other. I don't think it has. And here's where I differ a little bit from the typical Bernie supporter. I don't think it has anything to do with gun control. I think it's an idiot who needs to be put away.
Wait, so you think that? Okay, so are they saying that it was his views on gun control? Like he did it because he wanted gun control, or
no? But when something like this happens, you always
they start talking about gun control. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Scalise guy is gonna be way for it. It's always it always happens. Me and Emil talked about it yesterday when if something personal happens to these people, and it's always like a deep political belief, they usually change their mind.
Like that Debbie Giffords from down in Arizona.
Yeah, she got shot in the head.
Yeah.
And became a slow person. But like, or the senators who like their kids become gay or something, and they were completely against gay marriage, and then all of a sudden they're just like, well, since my son has found the love of his life in this man, I guess it's like, no, see now you like it.
And now I gotta watch out because Hurricane Phoenix program is watching.
So now we're talking shit. Okay, so we'll go into something that's not so politically driven. Okay, so
I don't care about that.
All right, so there's this woman named Amber Rose, right?
Okay.
Do you know who she is? You ever heard of Amber Rose? Okay, hold on. Okay, I gotta bring up a picture of Amber Rose. So this is Emil's gonna be angry with me because I do this. She used to. Do you know who Wiz Khalifa is?
No.
Never heard of Wiz Khalifa?
No.
You know that song, "See You Again"? It was a Fast and Furious song.
No.
Oh, jeez, hold on.
Man, I'm out of touch these last few months.
Really? What have you been listening to? Just the stuff that's going on in.
I spent a lot of time, most of my time, on festival music.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the "See You Again" song. This is it right here. You've heard this. This has just been everywhere. This was everywhere. Yeah. Let it marinate.
It's been
there it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know what the song is, right? Sure. All right. So the guy who sings that song, that's his wife. Well, it was his wife. They broke up. They still kind of together a little bit. But all right, I'm gonna show you a picture of Amber Rose. I'm getting to this for a reason. Okay. I swear to God, there's a point to this all. All right, Amber Rose. Now Amber Rose posted. This is Amber Rose right here. What do you think? What do you think of her? He likes. So anyways.
I don't have an opinion.
So she's like this generation's Marilyn Monroe, pretty much, right? this, like
If you say
millennials,
so.
like she is, like she's, you know, she's a model. She doesn't like, she acts a little bit, you know.
I'm going to be your worst guest. I have no idea about popular culture.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. But this is, you don't have to know about popular culture for this question or for this discussion. She tweeted a picture of her vagina.
Okay.
Or Instagrammed it or something, right? And people are freaking out about it because it's her vagina, right? She's just posting it on the internet. But the thing is that the reason she did it is for quote unquote feminism,
Okay.
saying that you shouldn't be ashamed of your body, right? And we hear this a lot from if you've been listening to the show, you know that Panic has a problem with feminism. At its core, right? At its core, it's beautiful, it's wonderful. I'm a feminist at my core, right? But when it comes to all this other stuff, when it comes to like man bashing or this ridiculousness that they talk about, I can't get on board with it, right? So this type of thing, right? In order to not be body shamed, you put your private parts out for the world to see, right? And so what she's doing is she's encouraging other young women, right? If she does it, I don't have a problem with it, right? This is what she does. She gets paid for it.
Yep.
She gets paid a shit ton of money to put her vag on the internet like that. Now, a 23-year-old, 24-year-old woman who lives down the street from me sees that picture and goes, yeah, I'm not ashamed of my body. Where's my camera phone at? And just starts snapping pictures of herself and puts it on the internet. That becomes an issue. She's not getting paid for that. And now you leave a digital fingerprint, right? So 5 years down the road, 2 years down the road, you're trying to get a job and they ask for your social network stuff. And they see a picture of your Uchi on the internet.
So we'll be identifying people by their vag pictures.
That's
now, like
it. It's gonna be vaginal identification software. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's like why are you telling these young women to do this, right? Like who do you think you are? Like, you get paid for it. This is what you are known for. And there's nothing wrong with it. She's a beautiful woman. Go ahead. I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what you get paid. You get paid. The more pussy pictures you put out there, the more money you get.
So where does she get her money from?
From doing that, from modeling. She's a model. She used to be a stripper. She married Wiz Khalifa.
But is she getting money from Instagram?
Yeah, she gets money because she has so many followers. So she gets paid like from ads and stuff.
Okay.
You know, she gets ad revenue, and plus she has a show that's coming up on MTV. She has a podcast that's pretty famous. Like, she's doing a shit ton. You know what I mean? But it's like you're making these women think that there's no consequences for these actions that they're going to be doing.
See, I'm 50 years old.
Right. I understand.
And in my mind, this is going to sound so old-fashioned, but I don't want to see that. Save that for your partner.
Yeah.
For somebody who cares. I don't care.
Is it? Do you not? Okay, this is I'm glad you're here because you're older. Because you and Emil are almost the same age. You're a couple years apart, right? And Emil has a strong opinion on this stuff, and I always find it funny, and the difference in opinions when it comes to generations of it, right? And the difference in understanding what's going on. Like, I'm so like into this whole bullshit of pop culture.
Sure.
And which you kind of have, you're doing a thing that has its thumb on the pulse of pop culture a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with a lot of young artists who are in their 20s.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, maybe you should be into pop culture, Dan. I'm calling you out on this shit. Just joking. You know, like, have you ever just thought about, like, look, all right, I'm gonna take some time, because it doesn't take that much. You know, all you gotta do is go on Facebook and you just click on trending shit, and it's right there. Everything that's pop culture is pop right there.
I pay attention to that a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the craziest thing you've seen happen in pop culture lately, in your opinion, besides the Amber Rose vagina pictures?
Pick a day with Donald Trump.
Oh yeah.
Every day you wake up and you're like,
is he pop culture? You think so?
Of course he is.
Yeah. How would you explain him being pop culture though? Like, just because he's news all the time, or?
Well, look at his Twitter feed. I mean,
I guess so.
everything the guy does is to serve that purpose.
Right. So that's crazy. So, because we're
going to have an entire Trivial Pursuit game devoted to Donald Trump isms.
his Twitter feed. Who tweeted this? So okay, so that's an interesting way to put it. Like Donald Trump has now surpassed even him being 70 years old, right, and being completely out of the pop culture. Like, what's the definition of pop culture? It's something that's popular, right, in our culture.
And in our time.
That's so stupid. All right. Something that's popular in our time that's happening right now. Very popular.
What's going on today?
What's going on today? So it would be Donald Trump, right?
Yeah.
So Donald Trump is pop culture. So that means that these politicians out here are pop culture.
And here we are just feeding it by even talking about this jackass.
So do you think that it doesn't need to be talked about? That we should just ignore the problem? Or like, how do you think we should deal with that?
It's such a strange thing because that's kind of my rule of thumb is to ignore that kind of stuff. But it's
Right.
everything this guy does has an impact.
Right.
You
Because
know?
he's the president of the goddamn United States of America.
Yep. And I used to think prior to this election that the president is really just kind of a figurehead and doesn't really maybe do
Oh,
it.
no.
But I'll tell you, every day this guy's doing stuff,
Right.
real stuff that are affecting real people.
Oh yeah, he's making policy decisions that are destroying stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he has so much, but people don't understand that the executive powers that the president has are enormous. He can do a lot of shit. Yeah. He can literally get us into war if he wanted to, and no one can say anything. They can't be like, "No, I don't think we should do." They just have to be like, "All right, here we go. I guess we're going to war." And he doesn't have to ask permission because of 9/11.
No.
People don't understand that. It's so crazy. Hey, Bonnie, how you doing? I know someone else is watching too. Who else is watching there? Oh, hey, Liz, Jason, Lemmy, Greg, Ashley, Tori, James, Jake Lacoste. What's going on? But yeah, Tony Dentiste, what's going on? But you know, it's. I feel like these politicians. So if you could change the way like the government is run, do you think there's anything wrong with our democratic process, or do you think that it's going the way it's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing?
These are such really deep questions. I mean, I go back to Citizens United and the fact that companies can give as much money as they want
Right.
to any political action organization.
Yeah. Me and Emil were talking about this the other day. I was saying, I think that you should make it illegal for corporations to donate any type of money or to have any political affiliation whatsoever. Any business out there, doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are, to have a political, like, that should not be part of your business. You know, like to have a political affiliation, to be on one side of the aisle or the other side of the aisle. I think it should just be, it should be illegal. You shouldn't have it. You shouldn't talk about it, nothing like that. And you shouldn't be able to give any money, even anonymously, right?
Yeah.
And I think that there should be a cap on the amount of money that billionaires can give to political foundations. You know, the Koch brothers can't give, $1.3 million if they want to a candidate.
I do have to say that all of this conversation is just me personally, has nothing to do with the Phoenix organization because we're a nonprofit and we have to be non-political.
Right.
So this is my opinion.
Uh-oh. All right, this is Dan Buckner's opinion, solely Dan Buckner's opinion. It does not represent the views and opinions of the Horicon Phoenix program. All right, talk that shit, Dan. Let's go.
Where do you start?
I say we start with term limits, right, on senators. And Emil says we should start with purging. After 2 years, if they didn't listen to the wills and wants of their constituents, we go in there and we start offing senators.
So let me ask you a question. Yeah. What do you think about states like Colorado and Oregon and Washington and California, where the people have voted to say, okay, we want to legalize marijuana for recreational and medicinal use? Do you think that the will of the states should be overridden by President Donald Trump telling his Jeff Sessions to put the clamps on it again and to roll back?
Oh, Jesus. I don't think Donald Trump told Jeff Sessions to do that. I think what Donald Trump did was a lot. He said, he went in there and he was like, I don't know nothing about this shit. I hired you to handle that job. So whatever you think should go, I'm for it. Because he has no idea about criminal justice. He has no idea about the justice system. So I think that he hired Sessions to do that job, and he's going to let Sessions do that job without any accountability, really, as long as it's doing a good thing. As soon as something bad happens in the Justice Department for the AG, then Trump will step in. I think that's what will happen. Trump will say something, he'll tweet something, you know what I mean? But until then, I think this is Sessions' idea to clamp down and go against holders' orders.
And it's a scary thing too, because and here's where I feel a little bit weird as a white dude sitting here.
Talking to a mixed man.
Yeah, I recognize, and it's a fact that drug laws put a vast, irreproportional, I can't even think of the word, many more minorities
Right.
for ridiculous sentences, low-level drug laws.
Yeah. Improportionate. Yeah.
Improportionate.
Oh yeah, I mean we have mandatory minimums, right? First we were straying away from them, now we're going back to them, and it becomes a equal protection under the law thing, right? You have somebody who commits a white collar financial crime, gets 2 years, even though they stole $500,000.
The prison industrial complex is a real thing.
Oh yeah,
The
oh yeah.
military industrial complex is a real thing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know that Eisenhower warned us against the military-industrial complex.
Sure did.
Yeah,
That was a great speech.
cryptic as hell. We played it on here. It was an amazing speech, and we didn't heed his warning. We just didn't heed his warning, you guys. And I think that it's going to be this I think that the old people need to die.
Hey,
Not like you old, right? Because your generation is
my generation.
I'm 30, right? So you're 20 years older than me. I would think
Could be your dad.
exactly right. That's another generation, right?
Okay.
So I think that your generation and my generation and Emil's generation are the ones who have a little bit more open-minded, right? There's so much closed-mindedness to change or difference in the older generation, the 60 and above, right? My father, he's 60 and older. He does not like anything new. He hates it. And he's a black man. He hates change. I'm like, you couldn't drink out of the same water fountain as your wife when you were a child, but you hate change. So it's like, I think that the older generation and their views that are getting kind of spewed into this world because they're the last ditch effort before they all pass away. I think that's what's happening. I think they all just need to go into a field somewhere and just be with themselves and let the younger generations govern the world now. Because, I mean, Congress, they're so old. 83, Dianne Feinstein's 83, John McCain's 80 years old. Like what's the average age of Congress? Isn't it like 82 years old, something like that?
McCain's forgetting more stuff than I am. That's crazy.
It's ridiculous. I don't understand how it's even a thing that you can be that old. Like, yeah, there are some people who get into their 80s who are all there. But there are a ton more people when they get that old who are kind of slipping there.
Term limits is a slippery slope. There's something to be said with the experience. And I'll use the example of what we're doing when we're setting up a music festival. To learn all those steps that you have to do, to learn who you have to talk to get what permits you need, to learn and understand the process is a valuable thing.
Right.
And Washington and the Senate and the rules and how they govern their body, to understand that and to be familiar with it so you can be an effective legislator, that's an important thing.
Right.
But these guys have been there 20, 30 years.
30 years, right, exactly. And
so there is a value in it, but
Yeah.
at some point you got to say, okay, you're done.
I mean, there's some numbers that came out after John McCain went on that weird rant at the Comey hearings, and it was saying that most of the older people in Congress represent in their district, the average age is like 34 years old, but this guy's 80 years old. Like, how do you have the same views and opinions at 80 that a 30-year-old does, or a 34-year-old, or even a 40-year-old does? You know what I'm saying? Like, How can you even want the same things? You don't. So I feel like there should, one, be an age limit for being in Congress, which is ageist. People are going to start saying that. Oh, you're ageist, Panic. You're ageist. Yeah, I am. Old people need to stay in the house. And two, we need term limits, right? You go in at 34 years old, you got to be out before you're 40. You got to.
6 years?
6 years. Be done. Boop. See you later. You know what I'm saying? That's 3 terms.
Well, it's not for a senator. Senators are, was it 6 years?
Is it 6 years? 1 term for a senator. That's right. Yeah, the Senate. It's 6. Is it 6 years for real? I knew that. 2 years for reps, right? 6 years. Is it 6 years?
Yep.
Jesus Christ. What the hell is wrong with who made that law? What is wrong with and I think because the older generation has been so indoctrinated into the Constitution, right? And that it's an infallible, it's like the word of God to them.
That's why the senators have so much power, because they're there for so long.
Right.
It can impact.
Right.
and
You know,
influence so much
you get so
policy.
many, so many people, you gain so much respect and so much clout, political clout. You can do whatever you want.
Congressmen, they're gone in 2 years. Nobody cares.
Oh, that's right. I didn't think about that. All right, yeah. So we need to
Unless you're Anthony Weiner.
right, but then you can come back though, right? As a senator, there's no limit to how many times you can run for Senate, right?
Yep.
I mean, how many senators are older? I'm not senator, but how many representatives are older? You know what I mean?
I think they tend to be younger. But I might be completely wrong.
So in 1981, the average age of a representative was 49, and the average age of a senator was 53. Today, a representative is 57, and the average age of a senator is 61. So that means that the people who were senators in 1981 are still senators.
So whose fault is it, though? Is it the people for keeping on re-electing these old bastards?
See, that's when we get down to the nitty gritty of it and how the democratic process really works. Voting, right? How many times has we here at the Shop FM told you people to go out and fucking vote? You know, you need to get out there. You need to exercise your right. If you vote, guess what's going to happen? Change is going to happen, right? If you're out there and you're you're in numbers, right? If this generation, my generation, actually goes out and stops being apathetic to what's actually going on in the world instead of having an opinion when they don't exercise their right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, especially out here, right? In places like this, it becomes an issue with the younger generation giving a shit about anything. All they want to do is get drunk on the weekends, and
Is that what you see from millennials?
that's what I see from millennials who live out here. When you get to the city, it depends on the parts of the city you live in, right? If you're in the more like downtownish kind of area, it becomes people are a lot more active in the democratic process. But when you're poor. I shouldn't say that. I should say when you're poor, you don't give two shits because you're too busy worrying about how I'm going to pay the rent or how I'm going to get gas in my car to get to work that pays me shit in the first place, right? So the election and actually electing somebody who makes triple, quadruple what you make a year is the last thing on your mind, right? So I think that what needs a change is, but when you're poor, you don't understand. Like if you would just vote, then you would be able to change those things that you don't like about your life, right? You'll be able to help shape the policies that change the shitty things about your own life, right? About the situation you're in. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's a catch-22 though, you know?
You know, one bad thing that we've had to deal with the past few cycles, though, is there really hasn't been anybody that you can get really excited about as an option. In Wisconsin, and again, this is just me not representing anybody.
Gotta keep saying it.
But there's this guy named
Yeah.
Bob Harlow. He's a young guy. He's from the western side of Wisconsin, and he's going to be running as the next Democratic gubernatorial candidate.
Really?
And the thing that I like about this guy is he's not just ripping on anybody else's platform. He's got like 8 ideas. This is what I'm going to do to make Wisconsin better.
His name is Bob Harlow?
Bob Harlow.
Oh, I'm gonna look this dude up.
So it's really refreshing to see somebody who actually puts right out there, this is what I'm going to do. It's not somebody who's, running attack ads. There he is.
This guy right here?
That guy right there.
Holy shit, he's a ginger.
He is.
Uh-oh.
Totally is.
I don't know about him now. He might be soulless. I'm just joking. Do you know him?
No, I haven't met him personally yet.
So how did you hear about this guy? How do you see? This is the thing it's hard to find out. That's another thing that's really that's messed up. It's hard to find out what's going on in politics locally, right? It's unless you're looking for it. It's not in your face like national politics
That's
is.
exactly it. You
Yeah.
have to look for it. You
Yeah.
have to look for bands. You have to look for politicians.
Yeah, so you have to be one, interested in it,
You got to be.
and then 2, have the time to actually do it.
Yeah.
I think they need to make voting easier too. You know what I mean? They need to make it so that I don't have to take 3 hours off of work to come and vote. I can just go on my phone and send an email or something. You know what I'm saying? Something that would work. You know, I mean, they digitally count the votes anyways.
Yeah.
So why can't I just vote on my phone?
I'm not sure how I feel about that. That's an interesting question.
I get why you would be weary about it because they would hack it, right?
What if I take your phone and beat the shit out of you and press my button for who I want to vote for?
Well, you'd have to do it at the moment I put my password into the. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to there should be step verifications. Like before you vote, you verify who you are. You hit the vote button, and then you verify who you are after you vote.
Yeah. That's
what it should be.
Technology is not a bad thing, but it does.
I mean, you could beat the shit out of somebody before they go into the voting booth and they need to, you know what I'm saying? You got to vote for this person. I'll beat the shit. And when you come out and you say you didn't, I'll beat the shit out of you. You know, it's just, and then I'll beat your family up. You can threaten anybody to do anything at any time. It doesn't matter about I'm sorry, keep going, man.
Totally forgot what I was going to say.
I'm sorry. Like this up front, he was on up front on ABC, the local channel 12. He has an 8-point plan for Wisconsin. What does that even? That's so boring, though. That's boring.
High-speed rail is boring.
I know. I mean, it is, though, right? It is for somebody who doesn't give a shit about high-speed rail.
But then
about putting it in. If it comes to me, cool. I'll ride the high-speed rail.
You can be in Milwaukee and get a job in Madison and be there in 30 minutes.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Oh, look at this. So it's telling you how long it would take to get to places.
Yep.
From Milwaukee to Sturgeon Bay, what is it, 18 minutes, something like that?
Well, you have to add up all those times along the way. So it's like an hour.
Oh, and that's usually a 4-hour drive, right?
At least.
Oh, that's crazy. That's really dope. So you get to Minnesota from Milwaukee, probably get, what? That's 20... an hour and a half? Hour 45, something like that? To Minnesota? Why aren't we doing? See, that's cool. See, you guys got to research this shit. That's amazing. Fast and reliable internet, right? Yeah, it's a necessity. I think he's correct. He's young. He knows, right? That the internet it's something you need. It should be like air. You should just get it.
And that's what he's calling for as a public utility. Internet in every house.
Oh yeah. See, that's what you need. You just need it. But it's so expensive. The problem with that is I see a lot. I know a lot about internet infrastructure. So his plan and the actual doing of the plan are on two different levels. It's so crazy. I'll tell you about it later, but I'll bore the shit out of them if I start talking about tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 internet providers. It gets weird. All right. What did you say? Make a healthcare system that works for the people of Wisconsin. I mean, we already have one, right? The government healthcare system that we have now, I think is okay. It just needs to be, you need to have a little bit more options in it, right?
I don't know if it's okay. I mean, I know people very close to me who don't have access to healthcare because there aren't any Medicaid approved doctors who accept that insurance. That's state
really
insurance. Yeah.
I've never met a doctor who doesn't accept MA. I know I've met dentists who don't accept MA, but I've never met a family physician.
To Dodge County.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good because anyways. Wisconsin public schools need to be stronger. No, I think that inner city schools need to be stronger. I think that the schools in the suburbs and stuff are actually pretty good. The class sizes are pretty good size. The teachers are eager and willing to teach. Once you get into once you get into poor areas, man, it's a whole different thing, you know?
Yep.
I wonder how often he's he's running for governor, right?
Yep.
He's a young ass dude, man. He's got some pretty cool things. Like this. I want to get this dude on here. Emil, I need you to go and contact, what's his name?
Bob Harlow.
Bob Harlow. Go email Bob Harlow right now so we can get him on the air. All right.
He might be at Jersey Street this weekend.
Really? There we go. I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to get him on. Don't worry about it, guys. We're going to have the new governor. If he's as good as I think he is, I'm going to vote for this dude. You guys need to check him out. Bob Harlow. Check him out, yo. He sounds like he's dope. Julie, Kyle, what's going on? Kyle, when does Kyle play? By the way, this year's the first year. We're almost done here. I promise. We have about a couple more minutes, then we got to get out of here. But before we go, I want to talk about you extending the music genre in Jersey Street Music Festival this year to including hip hop.
Well, this is pretty exciting. Something that we worked together on last winter.
Oh, you ain't gotta talk about me. This is all you, man. It's all your design. You know what I'm saying? Like, you saw the niche and you needed it, and you asked me to help you fill it, and I was like, absolutely. The Shop FM would love to help you. We can give you some suggestions. So,
But I'm even thinking back to the Battle of the Bands that you guys had in Watertown last year.
yeah, that piece of shit. Yeah,
No, we got 2 artists from there who are
Right.
playing at the festival now.
right, yeah. So, what was your when you thought that you needed hip hop, when you wanted to get hip hop, was it just because the winner and you were like, well, I guess we're gonna put hip hop in, or were you working towards that anyways?
No, I was working towards that anyway. That's another one of the concepts behind the festival. As an original music festival, and I was thinking about this on the way over here, people from rural areas tend to like cover music.
Yeah,
But what fun is there in that? One song done by one person and then done by 5 other people doing the same song.
Right.
It's nothing new. It's nothing interesting. There's nothing creative.
yeah. You can only do it a certain way. Yeah,
That's right. But with any of the artists that we have at the festival, including Kyle, first of all, you don't know what you're going to get.
right.
And it's going to be exciting that way. And some of it you're going to hate, some of it you're going to love.
Right.
But you're going to walk out of there with a different perspective on music that you haven't heard before. And it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see hip hop and how it does there this weekend. Christine says she loves your shirt, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks, Christine.
It is a strange lineup because we've got a couple of hip hop acts, and then we've got a comedian with Mary Mack. And then
Yes,
we've got,
which is amazing, which is awesome. I heard some of her stuff, and she's funny. She's real funny.
she's got a biting sense of humor.
Yeah.
She's from Wisconsin. So
Yeah. So what made you put like think about putting like comedy up, like breaking up the music to be like, all right, now it's time for some laughs, you guys.
I could sit here and pick bands that I like all day long. But
Right.
it's not, and people would disagree with me on this, but it's not the Dan Buckner Festival.
Right.
So we're trying as an organization to make it as wide ranging as is possible.
Speaking of that, how do you put your feelings of music, of like what a band, like if the rest of the group likes this band and you're just like, I really don't like them.
We really don't have many disagreements, believe it or not. And I think you would agree with this. If you hear a song for the very first time, either this is a good artist
Right.
or this is shit.
I mean, some songs grow on you if they keep playing it over and over again on the
Name
radio.
one.
Name one.
That you didn't like at first, but that grew on you after a while.
There's a song that's on our playlist that I can't stand called "Humble"
But
that
you-
was playing right before we went on the air.
But you like it now?
I love it now. I
Okay.
think it's a dope. I love that song. It's a Kendrick Lamar song called "Humble." Sit down, be humble. But anyways, yeah.
See, maybe in my old age, I don't have that patience anymore.
I guess so. I mean, it gets played over and over again. Every time I come in here, it's pretty much on. So now it's like, I like that song. It's got a little bounce to it. I kind of like it a little bit. But yeah, I get what you're saying, though. Good music is good music regardless,
Yeah.
right? Like, you can tell good music from bad music. You don't have to be a connoisseur of music. You don't have to be a philosopher in music or anything like that to understand that good music is just good music.
Look
So-
at the 2 bands that we had last night, Heavy Looks
Oh, yes.
and Ian in the Dream. 2 completely different
Oh, yeah.
genres, but both really good.
Yeah. Yeah, they were really good. Yeah, Eating the Dream was amazing. And you guys can check that out on our Facebook page. If you guys missed the performance last night, just go to the Facebook page and check it out. All right, we're gonna get the hell out of here, man. It's that time. Dan, thank you so much for joining me this morning and dealing with my rants and going
Sorry,
to
I'm
places.
not more exciting.
Don't worry about it. I think you're more exciting than a million styles. Then you got my new co-host. All right, y'all. If you like this episode, you want to hear it again, or you want to hear any of our older episodes, please go to www.theshopfm.com. But wait, before you go, don't forget right now,
Love
you're
you,
watching right now, hit that share button right now. See, I was supposed to do that in the beginning of the show and I forgot. But everybody hit that share button, share this video. Your shares help us grow. When you share the show and you share this video, you help us grow. So we thank you so much for all your shares. Please continue doing it. Do that shit right now, or I'll come to your house and I'll beat you up.
Vote.
Vote. Absolutely. But download our podcast on iTunes, Podbean, And when you're there, don't forget to like it, share it, rate it, review it, download it, and do it. Just do that shit. You gonna do that shit? You gonna say it with me? Do that shit.
shit.
We out of here. Peace.